Hello everyone, I was not born with confidence. If you were to look at my life when I was a young boy, you would have seen absolutely nothing that suggested I was destined for greatness. People look at me today, they see the businesses I have built, the stages I have spoken on, and they immediately try to comfort themselves with a very convenient lie. They tell themselves that I must have been born a genius. They assume I possessed a brilliant, mathematically gifted mind, or a silver tongue, or some rare genetic advantage that made success inevitable. But I know the absolute truth, and the truth is that I was a failure. I failed my primary school examinations. I failed my middle school examinations. When it was time for the university entrance exams, I took them 3 separate times, and 3 times I was handed a brutal rejection. When I finally gave up on academia and just tried to get a normal job to survive, society turned its back on me again. I applied for 30 different jobs, from hotel clerking to police work, and I was rejected by every single one. When a famous fast food chain came to my city, 24 young people applied for a job. 23 of them were hired. I was the only person told to go home. By every standard, I was entirely unremarkable. I was a young man with empty pockets, 0 influential connections, and no obvious talents. But beneath all of those failures, buried deep inside my chest, there was a quiet, stubborn, relentless curiosity. I looked at the boundaries of my small world in Hangzhou, and I knew that there was a massive, incredible universe waiting out there. I just needed a bridge to reach it. And that was when I made the single most important decision of my entire life. I decided I was going to learn English. I did not learn English because it was a required subject, and I certainly did not learn it because it was easy. To be perfectly honest, I completely despised the way English was taught in the classroom. They treated language like it was a dead artifact to be dissected. We were forced to sit on rigid wooden chairs, staring at heavy, dusty textbooks, and memorizing endless grammatical formulas that felt entirely disconnected from the beating heart of human existence. I watched my peers waste years of their youth memorizing vocabulary lists until their eyes watered, terrified of making a mistake on a test, yet completely incapable of looking another human being in the eye and holding a basic conversation. I knew that if I followed their path, my mind would remain trapped. I learned English because I wanted to understand the world. I was growing up in a country that was just beginning to crack open its doors to foreign visitors, and I could feel the winds of change blowing through the streets. I realized that the English language was the only tool sharp enough to cut through the invisible walls of my isolated reality. English was not a school subject. It was my only ticket to freedom. It was the only way a skinny, rejected boy with absolutely nothing could reach out his hands and touch the future. But having a profound dream inside your head means absolutely nothing if you do not have a brutal, uncompromising system of execution in your daily life. I had a burning desire, but I had absolutely no resources. I could not afford to hire a private tutor. I could not buy imported audio cassettes, and I certainly could not afford a plane ticket to America or England to immerse myself in the culture. I was completely on my own. So, I had to invent my own academy. I had to become my own ruthless teacher. I made a silent vow to myself, and every single morning, I went to the hotel to speak with foreigners. This was not a weekend hobby. It was an unbreakable discipline. Every day, for 9 agonizingly long years, I woke up in the pitch black while the rest of my city was still asleep. I would put on my clothes, step out into the freezing air, and get on my old, rusting bicycle. I rode that bicycle for 45 minutes across the silent city to the Hangzhou Hotel, the only place in our region where foreign tourists were allowed to stay. I rode through the bitter, bone-chilling rain of winter. I rode through the suffocating, heavy humidity of summer. I did not take a single day off. I parked my rusted bicycle outside those grand doors, stood in the cold morning fog, and waited for the world to wake up and walk outside, you cannot possibly imagine the pure, unadulterated terror I felt during those early days. In my culture, the concept of face is everything. We are deeply conditioned to protect our dignity and to avoid public embarrassment at all costs. The fear of looking foolish is a heavy chain that holds millions of brilliant minds hostage. And there I was, a young, insignificant boy with a terrible accent and a vocabulary of perhaps 50 broken words, preparing to walk up to wealthy, highly educated strangers from America, Europe, and Australia. Every time I approached a tourist, my heart would hammer against my ribs so violently I thought it would break the bone. My hands would shake, my throat would go dry, and my mind would completely blank out. I would open my mouth, and absolute nonsense would fall out. I stumbled over my words. I forgot the simplest verbs. I entirely butchered the grammar. I made mistakes. I sounded foolish. I knew I sounded foolish, and the worst part was that the people around me knew it, too. Locals passing by would point at me, whispering and laughing under their breath at the desperate boy making a clown of himself. The embarrassment was a hot, sharp, physical pain in my stomach. There were mornings when the humiliation was so heavy that I wanted to disappear into the ground, get back on my bicycle, ride away, and never let another English word cross my lips. But I refused to retreat. I stayed. I swallowed my pride. I forced a smile onto my burning face, and I offered those strangers a very simple, honest trade. I offered to be their free, personal tour guide around the beautiful West Lake of my city, and in exchange, they just had to talk to me. I realized early on that fluency would not come from silent reading in an empty room. It had to come from engaging in daily English dialogues with anyone who would give me the time of day. And in the midst of that grueling, daily embarrassment, I made the most profound discovery of my entire life. I realized that the pain of looking stupid is simply the mandatory toll you must pay to cross the bridge into a greater destiny. Every single time I stumbled, every time a kind stranger gently corrected my pronunciation, every time I felt the sting of public shame, I was absorbing the world. I wasn't just learning their vocabulary, I was downloading their entirely different way of looking at the universe. For the first time in my life, I was hearing philosophies that directly challenged the narrow views I had been fed by my traditional schooling. My mind was being stretched across vast oceans. Right there on the muddy shores of my hometown, I was receiving an elite, world-class education, and the only currency I was paying with was my absolute willingness to look completely foolish. We vastly underestimate what happens to a human being when they learn a new language. They treat it like a mechanical skill, a trick to put on a resume. But they are wrong. English did not only teach me words, it taught me courage. It fundamentally shattered my ego and rebuilt my identity from the ground up. When you physically force yourself to look a stranger in the eye and speak a language you barely comprehend, you are actively destroying your own fear. You are standing there completely exposed, flawed, and vulnerable, proudly declaring to the universe that your desire to grow is infinitely more powerful than your fear of judgment. That requires a rare, immeasurable type of bravery. And the beautiful truth about bravery is that it compounds. The more I exercised it, the more invincible I felt. As the months turned into years, the paralyzing fear slowly evaporated. I realized that making a mistake was not fatal. A stranger's laughter could not actually draw blood. If I could survive the crushing humiliation of sounding like an absolute idiot in front of a wealthy foreign tourist day after day, I realized I could survive absolutely anything. I was building a thick armor of resilience. The unshakable confidence I forged through speaking broken English began to bleed into every other aspect of my existence. Long before I ever built a technology company, long before I ever pitched a hostile investor, I was already a seasoned master of rejection. English was the crucible that forged my character. It taught me that progress is never about being perfect. It is entirely about being persistent. Years later, when I finally stepped into the brutal, unforgiving arena of business, people were constantly shocked by my ability to handle catastrophic failure. They asked me how I survived the endless rejections when I tried to build my early companies. They asked me how I kept my head high when elite Silicon Valley investors literally laughed in my face, telling me my ideas were delusional and that the internet would never succeed in China. The answer was incredibly simple, and their laughter meant absolutely nothing to me. Their rejection could not pierce my skin, because I had already been laughed at for 9 years on the streets of Hangzhou. I had already learned the critical life skill of falling flat on my face, standing back up, wiping the dirt off my clothes, smiling warmly, and trying the exact same sentence again. I was completely, biologically immune to the word no. English taught me that you cannot wait until your skills are flawless to take action. You cannot wait until the timing is perfectly right. You will never, ever feel completely ready. You have to step onto the stage, open your mouth, and speak while your voice is still shaking. You have to take massive action while you are still messy, flawed, and terrified. You do not wait for the fear to disappear, you act in total defiance of it. That is the true power of self-education. It removes your dependency on the external world and places the ultimate power of your destiny firmly back into your own hands. Because of the seeds I planted in those freezing morning hours, my vision of reality expanded to a massive, global scale. Because of my ability to translate, I was given the incredibly rare opportunity in 1995 to travel out of my country to the United States. When my feet finally touched American soil, I was not intimidated. I was not overwhelmed by the massive buildings or the foreign culture. Because I had spent nearly a decade speaking with the world felt like an old, trusted friend. And it was on that precise, fateful trip to Seattle that I sat down in front of a glowing computer monitor and saw the internet for the very first time. I typed a single word into the search engine, and instantly, a flood of global information appeared on the screen. But there was no data from China. In that singular, quiet moment, staring at the flashing cursor, the grand vision for my future finally broke out of my head and entered physical reality. But I want you to burn this truth into your mind. If I had not spent those 9 years standing in the rain, looking like a fool, and learning English, none of it would have happened. I would never have been invited on that trip. I would not have been able to read those early websites, understand the magnitude of the digital revolution, or see the future before it arrived. English was the invisible, unbreakable bridge that carried me away from a life of obscurity and dropped me directly into the center of a global transformation. I am not sharing this deeply personal history with you to boast about my past or to make myself look like some kind of natural hero. I am telling you this because I desperately want you to take a harsh, honest look at your own life right now. You might be watching this, feeling entirely trapped in your own current reality. You might tell yourself the painful lie that you do not have the money, the elite education, the right environment, or the time to master this language and change your life. You might look at fluent speakers and falsely believe they were handed a magical advantage that you were denied. Let me absolutely shatter that illusion for you. I had nothing. I had a rusted piece of metal with 2 wheels, a city full of passing strangers, and a psychotic, relentless willingness to look stupid. That was my entire fortune. If I could learn with nothing, you can learn with everything. You are living in the most extraordinary, resource-rich era in the entire history of human civilization. The absolute entirety of human knowledge is sitting quietly in the palm of your hand right this very second. You have smartphones. You have high-speed internet. You have access to millions of videos, podcasts, digital communities, and native speakers with a single tap of your finger. The speed at which you can learn today is so fast, it is almost unfair. You have absolutely everything you could possibly need to teach yourself anything you desire. If you fail to learn today, it is not because you lack resources, it is entirely because you lack resolve. But I must warn you, all the advanced technology in the universe is completely useless without the roaring, burning fire of daily self-education. You cannot sit around passively waiting for a teacher to hand you fluency on a silver platter. Formal education might help you survive and make a basic living, but relentless self-education will make you a fortune. And I do not just mean a fortune in money. I mean a fortune in absolute freedom, in unshakable confidence, and in the power to completely design your own destiny. Stop wasting years of your precious life hiding behind textbooks, silently obsessing over perfect grammar in your head before you ever dare to let a single word escape your lips. The real world does not care about your perfect grammar. The world cares about your ideas. The world cares about your passion, your unique perspective, and the fire in your soul. True communication is never, ever about perfection. It is always about connection. So go out there and make mistakes. Make glorious, terrible, loud, embarrassing mistakes. Talk to people. Stumble over your words until your tongue ties in knots. Laugh out loud when you inevitably mess up. And then, without a single moment of hesitation, wake up the next morning and do it all over again. Every single time you open your mouth to speak, you are physically breaking down the invisible walls of your comfort zone. Language is the ultimate human superpower. Do not let fear keep your true voice permanently locked inside your throat. I was never a genius. I was just a stubborn boy on a bicycle who fundamentally refused to quit. The doors of the world are waiting for you right now. The key is already in your hands. It is in your voice. Do not wait until tomorrow. Speak your way into the future and watch how the entire world transforms before your very eyes. Thank you.